it better condition for one? Huh? Yeah. What's your?
Everything. Paint. Everything. What color are you gonna paint it? See, black, gold stripe, dark blue. Here's the big autograph. Alright, so welcome back to what I'll call part 2 of this build. Even though it's been many parts so far, I just only posted one part, which was when I got the car in the summer. I want to say almost 10 months ago, like is when I filmed that video last. A lot has changed, but a lot more should have changed, if that makes sense, because the Mustang hasn't really made any progress, but it has made progress, not as much as I want. So much happened. I ended up quitting soccer at NU, so I'm no longer doing soccer, which freed up time, but I started doing boxing full time. Here's a video of my fight. And I like boxing, and I'm doing okay at it, and as soon as I stop hating it, I'll quit, but right now I'm loving it, so that's taking up time now too. I want to get this Mustang done. It's summer, and I know I can get this thing rolling by the summer. I feel like I can, and if I can't, I'm wrong. Big deal. But Chris, the man who's building my engine, an amazing, basically an artist in what he's doing. We ended up making I think it was the 330 stroker. We got a crank, a custom cam, Molly pistons, AFR 185 enforcers. I gotta double check everything, but 185 enforcers, Scorpion rockers 1.72. I still have to get the differential, but basically the engine's being built. The engine's gonna be, I think he's estimating like 450 horsepower. And that is gonna have to go inside this engine bay right here. And I have done nothing to the engine bay, but I have actually. Let me show you. Let me flip the camera. Here's the engine bay right here. Okay. Now you're asking what's new? Well, see, I wasn't planning on replacing this apron, but this battery tray that originally sat here, the acid ate through. So this was all rusty. So I was like, damn, I really have to replace the apron. I removed this battery tray that I suggested on Facebook because I had to remove it anyway. Rust holes right the way through, which is not fun, because I was thinking about keeping this piece because metal is somewhat okay. Right here, it's still eating through. Posted on Facebook, and a couple people said I could fix it and do it. A couple people said that, you know, just replace the apron. So right now, I'm definitely gonna order a new apron for right here, the right front passenger side. And then right here, I don't think I will be ordering any apron. I think I could, let's definitely fix this up. And I already welded in my own pieces, so I think I'm gonna keep this one. That's where I'm at right now. So I gotta replace this. And I got all of it off down here. I just gotta get those spot welds out and take that last piece out down there. And that will be all set. And I gotta put some rust proofing down there once I put this radiator core support back on right here. And I gotta make sure I put that on perfect, so there's nothing wrong with the fenders. Then I also ordered this apron. It's gonna be nice because I can patch this thick metal with no problem, but it's this thin metal that I have trouble with. So this apron's gonna run right along top. So I can just start by spot welding that on. And I don't think it's rusted through, but I'll probably end up replacing it anyways just to be safe because they are dangerous rust spots. But also gonna definitely replace both sides of this right here. As far as the floorboards, haven't got those after I cut my knee open. Trying to remove this last piece right here. Angle grinder went down funny, hit my knee, whatever. Guys, I was working on my car and I'm currently driving to urgent care because the angle grinder went right through my knee. I got a big gash, very, very deep. And yeah, let's walk into urgent care and see what they say. This is what it looks like. Pretty deep. But after I cut my knee open, I just haven't touched it. I ordered the wrong torque box, sent the other ones back, got the new ones in. Just gonna wait a little bit longer before I go at any of this because Just want to be safe. So I bought a new one for like 60 bucks, and that was my first big kind of weld thing. I cut the old one out and I put this new one in and measured it all, and it came out great. Then you're asking, what about those rust patches from the last video? You can watch that video here. Those rust patches, well, I put new metal underneath, and this is new from the apron, and then this is metal I patched in, and that came out okay. Now the same thing to this side. As you can see, my work's like bumpy, like I'm not perfect, like I'm really kind of bad at this, but I replaced this one, which I did kind of pour on because there's a gap under it and I didn't really know how to weld, and I still don't, but I'm getting a lot better, and I replaced this one. So there's no more rust patches in the two most common places of Mustang rust, which is here and here. Now, the radiator support I had to fix because the old one had a rust hole here, and I need structural integrity. So this is before I put the new radiator support on. This is the old one. Super beat up, as you can see. Bent, rust holes right here. We need a new one. And that black new one is looking very nice. So we gotta make sure we take this one off carefully. Now I'm motivated, and we're gonna make it look beautiful. This is half welded in, welded up here, welded right here, and you can see the burn marks through this back side for the radiator core support. That's what's welded in. This is basically finished in here, except now I gotta strip every single thing you see. I'm gonna power hose it and clean it, and then basically once I finish all the welding, I think I'm gonna get the whole car sandblasted. Now, the next thing that I have tackled since you guys last seen it is I have cut out the floor in here. You know, it hasn't been hard so far. Just maneuvering in different positions has been the only hard part, like bending your back on the ground. But that part that the floor pan edge butts up to is right here. Removing the old one would have not been possible without this air hammer. Going down like this and getting it off. I did have this screw gun with this spot weld remover, which is basically that little screw at the end. You put it on, but it kept spinning everywhere. It wouldn't stay put with this needle, and I thought about drilling a hole, and it just wasn't working. So I got the air hammer, which gets a lot of criticism because it can bend the metal, but I am very confident that with some sanding off these welds and making this smooth, and with the hammer, that it will be totally fine. So I got all of it off up to here. This is where the old floor pan sits, right on top of right here, and then this is all the floor pan too. It's where the old one aligns. Now we're probably gonna cut right along this line on a curve. We're not gonna lap weld. Lap weld looks ugly, and if you do a lap weld, then it's just a waste of time. You bought all the new material just to do a lap weld, just to look ugly from underneath, just to probably grow rust eventually. If you're gonna do it the first time, do it right. So all this firewall extension I'm replacing. As you can see, it's very rusty. And then if you're doing all that, you might as well do the torque box, which in the 1967 is only on the left side. It is not on the right side. But since we're building the motor from it, we're gonna put one on the right side too. They sell kits on CJ Pony. I got them on sale for 70. They're originally like 100 bucks each, so I bought two of them for 70, so it was like 140 after shipping, 180. So I got two torque boxes. We're replacing this rail. The transmission stem right there is staying. And I started with the harder side. I should remove that brake pedal, and I gotta remove the fender. And there's a lot I gotta do, as you can see. But once I grind this down, it's gonna look super nice. And this is what it looks like. I needed to replace the torque box because the firewall that I ripped out made me have to replace the torque box, and the other torque box was just rusty and not good shape. So I cut out the old torque box, and that was a pain in my ass because when I cut it out, I cut my knee open with the angle grinder, and that put me out of commission for a little bit because when you cut yourself with an angle grinder in the knee, I just missed my tendon. It just popped out of my knee. I was holding it and everything, and that could have been really dangerous, and it was dangerous. Drove myself, got some stitches, and yeah, it was not a fun time. Put me out of soccer, and I was kind of hesitant to work hard after that. But I finally got back to it. I finished cutting the rest of the old torque box out, and then I welded this one in. Now before I even had to weld that in, I had to weld this frame rail, floorboard support rail in, and that was a process. My cousin's friend, a really nice guy named Freddie, came over and showed me how to use the right weld settings. He is a master welder. he made me realize that I am not building a car. I am just restoring a car, because he actually builds cars out of metal, like frames and everything. So I am restoring this car, I should say. But he came over, showed me the right settings, and we got that on. Then the other day, I welded this bottom half of the torque box on, and as you can see, my welds right here, pretty terrible, but it got really hot, and I know it's melted in for sure. Underneath, these are the welds that go from the torque box to that frame rail support, and then over here are the welds that connect the torque box to the God, I'm forgetting the name. I'm blinking. But this is galvanized metal. I'm so blanking on the name of this. But that is all connected now. I gotta grind these down and grind these down. And then my next step is I have to weld and grind it down over here. And then I think I have to weld it up top a little more. But now, the fun part, because I'm gonna start working on this right now, in here. As you can see, super rusty. I have a firewall to replace this, and I have to cut along here, down. Probably got to take that off, to be honest with you, which I don't want to do, but definitely have to. And I have to put a firewall in. As you can see, this is just labor intensive and a lot of work to do. And I mean, I was expecting all this, but it's just so hard to get in the garage to actually work in a car. So if you're thinking about restoring a car, no, you can do it, but you just gotta put in time and hours, and every single hour counts when you're repairing these cars, is what I'm realizing. And then I have to move to this side. This, in a 67, they only put a torque box on the left side, the driver's side, but I'm gonna add one to this side. So I bought another torque box, just back there, and we're putting it in there. Then I have to replace the firewall and the floor, the same thing. But my goal coming up is literally just to get this side finished. I wanna get this torque box in, the firewall, and everything else. And I'm hungry right now, and I don't wanna do this, but I have to because I've been talking too much. So, another thing is, I got this US General toolbox because it helps organize all the tools. And my dad put in a heater, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so we're gonna restore my dream car. The transmission's already done. Gotta get a rear end. Gotta do a lot of stuff. About to order a bunch of parts, but here goes nothing. All right, so we got those welds grinded down. It's kind of hot to the touch right now. The only one that's pretty kind of has a hole still, I'm gonna put some more weld, is right there, just so no water gets in there, but it's looking good otherwise. So remember, this is the torque box. This stops the shifting in the car from all the torque in the engine. You don't want the frame to bend. So, well, the whole car is the frame. So they put this in, which kind of keeps it tight and strong, if that makes sense. It keeps its structural integrity good. So this is welded up to this floorboard here, and then welded into this, God, I forget the name of it. Put the name here though. So that is welded in. Now I'm gonna grind down these ones right here. And I'm not gonna bore you with the process of grinding. It's just kind of long and boring. Not much to it. Just put the grinder on, you're uncomfortable in the position. And so let me do that. That is way better. It's all flat. It's really flat. It's not gonna look like it, but it's definitely really flat. Those look really good underneath here. And she's in. Now, what I think I'm gonna do is weld up here right now and get that, just so it's welded from both sides. Because as you can see, I couldn't get this perfectly flat against here, but if I run a seam across here, then I feel like that's gonna be good too. This is galvanized metal, so I have to wear a mask when I weld here. And this should be fine. But let me do that. Getting that metal clear as well. Time to start welding, and the metal is prepped. It's cleaned. Can't get a lot more off than that. A little Eastwood MiG-90 welder. Got the settings hopefully dialed up. Might have to do some work on that. That. Always fun when the wire's not coming out. Yeah, this welder's kind of crappy sometimes, but that's bang for the buck. All these videos on YouTube have a hard time capturing, you know, the actual good stuff. So I'm trying my best to capture this for you guys. I'm just gonna run a bead. And the thing is, I need a mask because this is galvanized metal. See, forget this little stuff.
Oh, we ride, pedal to the floor, boy. She begging for more, sipping on apple pie, moonshine. And I'll be gone by the morning light. Yeah, 'cause I've been known to write a few songs, loving and leaving and get too stoned. Bottle and a pistol by my side.
So excuse me guys, I have a mask on, but as you can see, my welds are not perfect at all, and they look like shit. But I just know that metal got hot enough where this is on here, super good, and oh, that's the welder. It's sitting on it. There we go. Alright guys, so that's literally all I'm doing today on this Mustang. I'm not doing any more stuff than that because I don't want to make myself hate this car. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. I know I got that piece welded in. I was going to patch this right now, but I really don't feel like it. It's late at night and I kind of just want to get inside and start my homework and go eat some food. That's all I did. Is I got that little piece welded in, and that's what the one thing you got to know working on these cars is that a little bit at a time counts and you can't burn yourself out. So that's almost welded in to the back of the torque box. Welds right here, and I can get that welded in, and then I can get the top of the torque box welded in too, and that's right there, and that sits on top. It kind of forms a triangle, and that's gonna take some fitment because I remember trying to fit it again and it was a problem. And then besides that, I gotta finish welding right there, and I have to weld right here the rest of this radiator core support on, and then I can start with the firewall, which I'm not looking forward to. I think I'm gonna have to buy a new small grinder to cut all this metal, but a little bit goes a long way on these cars. That's just, I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again, and I want to start working on this more. It's just that it's hard. It gets frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, working on it, because it's getting in tight angles, you're uncomfortable, and there's no way around it, especially since I don't got a shop. We're just working out of a garage, and I got all the tools I need, and I can make up anything I need. There shouldn't be any excuses. I just gotta get it in, and then I can get the floor started, and we'll be moving. Hope you enjoyed this video and this series. This is part 2 of rebuilding my Mustang. I might make a video which is a part 3, which is gonna go over the cost and how much I've spent so far on everything, because I feel like I need an update on that if I'm gonna keep going with this, just for my own personal sake, and I'll let you guys know what you're looking at when you're restoring this, because it ain't cheap. You're ordering parts every single weekend, and whether it's for the engine, whether it's inside here, I'm ordering parts maybe $600 a week sometimes, and then you realize, like, damn, I ordered all these parts and my car is still sitting here looking like a rust bucket of metal. So that's just how it goes, I guess. But I hope you enjoy the video. If you do enjoy, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know any tips you guys have or what cars you're restoring. I love to read the comments. And yeah, any advice, let me know, because I'm always down to learn. Obviously, I've never restored a car before, and I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes in my vocabulary talking about things. I'm gonna sound stupid, but don't hate me for that. That's just how it goes when I'm doing this stuff, because I gotta learn it somehow. And I know a lot of you guys are want to correct me in the comments, but this is my baby 67. Also, it's called the Enzo because I have a Mustang, or I have a dog named Enzo, and he growls just like a Mustang. So I got my sister's boyfriend made me a custom badge for the back that says Enzo, and we're gonna put that on probably like right here or something, or I don't freaking know. Enzo, up, come on, up, come on. So oh, it's okay, come on, you got it, jump. Okay, so this is my dog Enzo right here, one of them. And this is what I'm naming my car after, because his growl sounds just like a Mustang, and I don't have a video of him growling. Maybe I do, I'll put it in, but I don't want to make him mad right now. But when he growls, he's like, "Arr!" So I'm naming my car after Enzo, the Mustang. This is a little kangaroo. Oh, yeah, and here's some more stuff. Expected cost. So this doesn't affect me and the look of my car at all. It just affects my engine, which I don't have right now. My engine builder, Chris, has it. And so like a random thing, I gotta order these one day, and they're $410, and I am more than willing to pay it. But like I said, it gets expensive for these. I also have to drop these off. These are the rockers. This is what pushes the valves open, drives from the camshaft. Camshaft pushes a lifter up like this, and the lifter pushes the push rod, and the push rod pushes this down, and then opens the valve. And based off your camshaft timing, that's how those work. So that's another $400 something right there that you just have to spend without even realizing it. This is the oil drive shaft. I don't know why I got two of them. I think I accidentally ordered two. Just the little stuff. Now time to do some homework, and then see, another car I want is this Corvette. There's my Mustang, another Mustang.